Hey everyone, Duke Nukem 3D here with another mask to show off for you guys. Well, really, it's not a new mask, but it's a setup and set of accessories for a mask I've reviewed before. But anyhow, without further ado, today I have for you my United States M42A2 Armor Vehicle Crewman's Mask. Now, the M42A2 was the last amendment in the series of M42 armor vehicle masks, of which the M42 was essentially, again, as the name would imply, an armor vehicle variant of the M40 field protective mask. These typically denoted by the addition of a microphone into the voice diaphragm, a long corrugated breathing hose and filter sling with a coupling to use with the tank's collective protector gas particulate air filtration unit, which was essentially a giant blower unit mounted in the tank that provided positive pressure to the mask to facilitate easy breathing and just overall maintained a very NBC positive pressure protected environment inside the vehicle. But enough rambling about that. The M42A2 was quite somewhat different than the rest of the M42 series, whereas the original M42 featured a fixed-in-place hose with a rubber coupling on the mask end that was pretty much glued in. It can be unthreaded if you break the glue, but it was not intended to, and also used a green filter casing. The M42A1 also featured the hose you see here on this example, and it also featured the updated black filter sling, and like its predecessor, the original M42, it featured a integrated MCU2 AP style microphone assembly built into the voice diaphragm. But other than that, the only other difference was the face piece, which was the M40A1 type with the updated green nose cup, whereas the original M42 used the original M40 face piece for its basis with the uncomfortable black nose cup. But the M42A2, as you see here, is different in the aspect that it is not its own proprietary face piece. It is just a normal M40A2 with an M42A1 excuse me. It's a normal M40A2. I believe I said that, with an M42A1 hose and filter carrier sling and connector assembly. And as you may notice here, the microphone is clip-on. It is a clip-on dynamic microphone that fits inside the voice emitter ring and can be removed in order to convert it back to an M40A2 or M40A1. Officially, you could use either the M40A1 or M40A2 face pieces and it would still be an M42A2. You can also use the early green and later black filter casings interchangeably, and it would not make a difference of the kit designation at all. The only differences are the hoses and the microphones for the most part. That's what denotes the difference in kit. But anyways, let's get on to an actual review of this. So these microphones are fairly easy to find on their own for about $15 to $20, a little pricier than what I'd prefer to pay for one, but you know, it's a thing. And as you can sort of see, I have a DH-132A helmet shown with this assembly here. I'm not going to show the inside because it's, again, it's the same mask as an M40A2. It's just an M40A2 with a set of accessories clipped onto the outside. So the microphone is able to plug into the standard combat vehicle crewman's helmet, in this case, again, being the DH-132A. And this microphone, again, can be unclipped from the voice emitter retaining ring. The hose is typical threaded, just 40mm threads onto the side there. Later on, they issued the non-metallic hoses, which are a bit more common to find. So if you want to build this kit for pretty cheap, you can get one of those hoses for about $5 on eBay. Whereas these metallic ones are a bit decently hard to find on their own. You pretty much have to either find one by sheer luck or get your hands on a complete M42A1 or M42A2 kit that has one. Because, again, these hoses are a bit difficult to find on their own, and I was very lucky to get one. The filter casing and decoupler and all that is also very difficult to find on its own. Sometimes you can with a little bit of searching, but as far as I know, these are also about as uncommon as the metallic hoses. And it accepts standard C2, C2A1 canisters. It's just an outer shell that acts as it's basically a sling, in all honesty. There really is no point to this outer casing as much as it is just to house the sling. And it's a weird 3-point sling, sort of. Well, yeah, I guess it is. You have this large shoulder loop, which obviously goes around the shoulder, as the name implies. And then you have a waist strap. This is never meant for hip carry, as far as I know. You might be able to use it for hip carry, but I don't think that's how you should properly do it. And the angle joint of the hose would be against the body, so a little bit uncomfortable, but nothing too serious. I've worn this before. That's all there is to be said about the filter casing itself, but the decoupler here, I kind of wish I brought out my gas particulate air filtration hose to plug onto this thing and show you how it works, but oh well. So yeah, this basically clips on. This little switch here, when you have that little red indicator right there, that means it's not locked in place, and you can just basically pull that off. If you look there, you can see the little lever on the outside that locks it in place are these 4 prongs right here, which rotate and get behind the little locking tabs so that they do not, you know, pull off. So that's kind of an interesting feature. So just be wary of that if you get one of these and you don't exactly know what that little switch is for. I'll try to push it back on camera here. I'm kind of fumbling with it. But yeah, overall, not too much to mention about this kit. I don't see too many people with these kits on YouTube, so I guess it's nice to give a quick overview of everything. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Again, I'm not going to take it off the head because there really isn't anything to show on the inside. It's just, again, clip-on accessories. That's all there is to it. Very nice piece of kit, and it's just very interesting and nice looking mask. So if you have a chance to get one of these, I recommend it. There really is no practical value in owning one other than just for collector's purposes, I guess, or for historical setups. Like if you're doing US CVC anywhere from like the late 90s to today, these are what would be used. Although these are being phased out currently with the M41 Combat Vehicle Crewman's Protective Mask, which is essentially just an M50 with a clip-on hose and quick decoupler. It's kind of weird, but whatever. So yeah, I don't think I mentioned the date when the M42A2 was introduced. I don't know exactly for sure. I assume sometime in the mid to late 1990s, but again, don't quote me on that. That's just a general assumption of its introduction. I'm just going to be safe and say late 1990s is when these were introduced. So that's pretty much all there is to that. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, questions, corrections, or concerns, drop them in the comments below. I'm Duke Nuke 3D as always, and I will see you all later.